It's game day. We got a lot to talk about. It's week 8. Hey, man, this is my favorite time of the year. Oh, yeah. Greene Central versus Kinston. We got a lot of other games, but this is a game that's marked on the calendar. When the schedules come out, we look at, hey, when does Greene Central Kinston play? When does Greene Central Kinston play? It's not only just our game day of the week, it's the game day of the week for everybody around in our area. So we can't wait to talk about that, but also we got plenty of other games to talk about and to catch you up with. I'm Trey Scott.
I'm Vincent Thorpe.
And let's get into it. Let's get a big shout out to all of our sponsors.
Bojangles, Stallings Heating and Air, Sandpiper Seafood, Blizzard Contract Flooring, Patino Painting, Harvey Dental, Chris Humphrey for NC House, Salon 408, Hasty Mart, Superstars Athletics, East Coast Power and Lighting, Kennedy Cemetery Services, and Monument Sales, Brian West Jewelers, Sugar Hill Pizza, Captain's Corner, Chris Humphrey Allstate, 32 Below, Inflatable World. Special thanks to the guys at Lenoir County Farm Bureau, Heath Harrison, John Yates, Brett Houghton, and Joseph Rouse. And Kinston Lenoir County Parks and Recreation. Thank you to all of our sponsors.
And before we get game day going this week, we just want to give a quick recap on our last week's games that we had. North Pitt defeated North Lenoir 28-0. Hottie Trash defeated South Lenoir 30-6. Pamlico defeated Jones Senior 38-6. Tarboro with a big time win defeated Greene Central 56-16. And Ayden-Grifton with the big upset defeats Kinston 31-22. Big ball games, man. Big ball games. Playoff implications.
All right, this week, hey, you might not know, but we pre-record this show. It's not on Friday. We've been looking at the weather all week. I know Thursday is supposed to be very windy with possible rains on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday was up in the air. I know rain is this weekend as well. A lot of weather going around, so I can't give you an exact weather report. I hope that we are playing on this Friday. If not, expect to see the games on Saturday or Monday morning. But let me go ahead and break down the weather report brought to you by Stallings Heating and Air. During the day, it's going to be 74 degrees. It's going to feel great, but it's going to be overcast with a high of 74 degrees. Light winds up to 10 to 20 miles per hour that could possibly affect the game. When it moves to the nighttime, expected to get chilly. It is October. It's going to get down to 59 degrees with cloudy skies, low as 59. The winds will die down a little bit to 10 to 15 miles per hour. And up next is my favorite part of the show. This is a really cool segment that we get to highlight kids, parents, coaches. In this segment, we get to highlight Coach Wilson and his son, Jayden Willis as well. Deuce.
Oh, definitely.
Two of your guys.
No, man, my brother, man, and the guy that I consider my nephew, man. This is a great one, man. Really special.
No doubt. They're my guys, too. Let's go ahead and check it out.
This story didn't start this season. Didn't start when Deuce put on a varsity jersey. It started years ago when two guys who shared the same name, the same drive, and the same love for the game. When it comes to football, before it's father and son, it's culture, built on work, sweat, and doing things the right way.
Everything I do is based on hard work, so that's what I try to put over to my guys. Win, lose, or draw, we're going to be the hardest working team out there. It's all about trying to build character inside of a young man.
This fall, the two Wilsons share the same sideline. Jay, year 7 as head coach. Jason, a senior, better known as Deuce, a 6'4", 240-pound tight end defensive end.
It's an amazing feeling, and it's one of those things that, when he's 2 or 3 years old and I go somewhere and I put a helmet on him, and I'm like, hey, 14, 15 years from now, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. But to now see it come to fruition, I've had the opportunity to be able to go to camps with him. And I've watched him from a 9th grader who was just kind of lost in the sauce at a football camp to now being a kid that stands out. And you hear players that are current, college players like, yo, that boy big. And, so it's kind of twofold. You watch a kid, because on one hand, he is my player. And you watch him from a 9th grader who, was good in the weight room but wasn't great in the weight room, who liked it but he didn't love it. And now you watch a kid who loves the weight room. But then as a father, you know, you watch him and you know, there's a picture of me like trying to hold him up at, my wife says he was like 2 weeks old, but it wasn't that bad. But I'm trying to put him on his feet, you know what I mean? And now you watch him and he's a grown man and he's driving to practice and he's doing all the things that you want to see your son do. And I call all the guys my sons because they really are. You know, I really look at, you know, I know I'm not all of their dads, but I try to be a father figure to them in some ways. But when it's yours, it's just a little different than, you know, the other relationships that you build.
Deuce isn't just a football player. He's a 3-sport athlete, power forward and center on the basketball court, discus thrower in track and field. And anywhere you see him, you'll see Coach Wilson. On the road, he's in the front row. At home, he's on the mic, hyping up the crowd. During football games, he's on the sideline. The journey between them never stopped. It just changed fields. This summer, the work turned into results.
I put in a lot of work to get these offers, and I'm proud of it. John C. Smith, A&T, Elon, I'm about to go into Salem tomorrow, learning how colleges operate, how they practice, and how they perform. Good blocking, good catches, and finishing.
The bond goes far beyond football. When the lights turn off, it's still the same ride home. The same ride home after a rec ball game when he was 4 years old, or 10 years old, or now in high school as a senior.
He gives me points and tips, stuff I messed up on, stuff I did great on.
You know, 5 minutes after practice or 5 minutes into the drive home, I turn off Coach Wilson and I'm dad.
It's a story about football, but it's really about family, about lessons passed down, names shared, and the work that never stops. Coach Jay Wilson, Jason Deuce Wilson, 2 men, 1 name, on the same field.
In our first game day matchup this week is North Lenoir travels to Washington for a conference matchup. This is going to be good. North Lenoir has a real shot here against Washington. Washington is struggling with a new coach. They're 0-6. And there's a lot to unveil here. What do you see on this matchup, Coach Thorpe?
If I'm being honest, man, I really feel like this is an opportunity for North Lenoir to have a chance to win.
Yes.
They match up fairly well with Washington. I think Washington comes in with, struggling mightily when it comes to passing the football, struggling mightily when it comes to, running the football. And I think North Lenoir can come in and be dominant in the vessel that they need to be.
And I've been waiting on this segment right here, this one particular, for the Hawks, because there's such thing as power of the tongue. And I have been down on the Hawks for probably 2 years now. And I've only been doing off what I have seen. And what I have seen the past 2 or 3 weeks is a Hawk team that has been fighting.
Yes.
I'm very impressed. I'm very proud of the results last week. And I'm not a moral victory guy, but when I looked at the halftime score and I seen North Pitt was only winning by 6 against North Lenoir, and I've already seen North Pitt. North Pitt has some D1 athletes out there. They're coached by a former NFL player. This is a good program, and North Lenoir was sticking with them. They never quit. They fought to the end. They just could not get it done. I'm super impressed with North Lenoir. In the last 2 or 3 weeks, we saw how they put up 300 yards against Ayden-Grifton. We talked about that about 5 or 6 times. But it's a strong point to look at because that's a strong team. And then you show up against this North Pitt team that just wasn't able to finish. I really like North Lenoir in this one. Man, nothing pays off more than to work, get shot down, work, get shot down, work, shot down, and they're not quitting, and I think it finally pays off.
I agree.
I'm jumping right into my predictions right here. I'm taking North Lenoir for the win, and I'm taking them by 2 touchdowns. I believe in the Hawks. I believe in A.J. Black. I believe in the Gardner brothers. I believe in Devin Gray. I believe in Larry Dale. Hawks win this game. I'm putting money on it. I'm taking the money line. No. I'm taking a 13.5 point spread on this, on the Hawks, man. Hey, Hawks, don't prove me wrong. Prove me right, baby. I'll see you. I don't know if I'll see you there because it's a long ways, but hey, I'm definitely pulling for you. I'll be keeping up. What you got?
Oh, yeah. Man, I think this is a great opportunity, like I said earlier, for them to get back going how they were a little bit earlier in the year when they, put some wins together. But I think it's a testament to what Larry Dale has built. I think he's built what you consider to be an effort level-based football program that is going to play their hardest and be able to put them, as far as that program, in position to be successful. I think Hawks, it's just time for you to stand on those bricks that you've been building. those 300-yard run games that you had, those big timely turnovers that you have had in big, what you consider to be magnitude moments inside of games. It's time for you to stand on those bricks that you have built and be able to show not only us, but show the state of North Carolina that you can compete at a high level. And I do believe in the Hawks. And just like you said, man, it is time, and they will make sure that they put a staple in it this week, and they will win, brother. They will win.
All right, let's get into our next matchup of the week. Hey, this is going to be a good one. South Lenoir's 3-3, headed down to Clinton to face the Dark Horses, who's on a roll. They're 2-4. Oh, yeah. Don't be fooled by the record, man. These guys are starting to get it together, and this is something you're going to see for the next 4 years. This is a conference opponent. And the Dark Horses have a new kid to lead the way at the helm, at the quarterback's position, Miles McGallop. What can you tell me about Miles and what he's doing right now with Dark Horses?
Man, Miles, of course, is a transfer that came over from Roseville, big-time program that played in the state championship last year and lost to Grimsley. And Miles comes over and he brings, of course, a dual threat ability, man. Right. Great with his feet, man. Great with his arm, but great in the leadership department also, man. Just speaking volumes of who he is through speaking with Coach Boykin, speaking with other people in the Clinton community. They truly have a belief in Miles, and he shows and puts that on display no matter what endeavor he's into, man. And he really does. And
I've been looking in from the outside, and all summer, all preseason, he has inserted himself into being the face of this team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every summer media day, the camps, the 7-on-7s, all of it, he has inserted himself to be the man of this team. And I think it's finally trickling in, and they're starting to look better. They're starting to win games. Also, let's talk about one of their weapons, Jonah Boone. Shout out to Buck Sweep podcast for showing me this guy, telling me about that guy, because Buck Sweep is a Clinton alumni. And hey, man, when I looked him up, I was like, wow, he's got 31 catches, 341 yards. He's an explosive athlete, plays both sides of the ball. South Lenoir has their hands full, but what I need to see from South Lenoir is the same thing that Miles did for Clinton. I need to see a kid step up. I need somebody to take control of this team. And don't get me wrong, this is a team effort, but teams are led by leaders. And who is the leader of this South Lenoir team? Who do they lean on when it gets tough? Who do they lean on to make plays and to believe in? That's something that hasn't been answered yet, and it's something I want to know. And I mean, it's going to pop up. Oh yeah. But it needs to show up soon.
I agree.
What do you got on predictions?
Man, so I really love this South Lenoir team. I love the place where they begin to gel and they came together, and I love the fact they started 3-0. But I just think that one of the biggest things, man, is that the Clinton tradition. Yeah. They're embedded on winning. Yeah. So one of the greatest things about being a part of a football program that's embedded on winning is that you never have to search and teach your kids how to win.
That's a good point.
How to win. And I think that, with that I go into my prediction, and I feel like it's going to be Clinton. I think that South Lenoir will fight at the beginning of this ball game, but I just think Clinton would be way too much for them to overstand, man.
And I have to agree with you. South Lenoir is just not ready for this type of competition just yet. They will work themselves way up to it because they are a young football team, and this is the only way you work yourself up through it is by going through the fire and fighting and competing. But I have to take the Clinton Dark Horses in this one.
Oh, yeah.
In our next matchup, we got another one. Southside travels to Jones. Southside's 1-5. Jones is 0-6. This is another game that Jones can look at and take a realistic chance of saying, hey, we can win this game.
Very much so.
This Southside team is led by Coach Cornley, Andre Cornley, my football coach, my defensive coordinator, Greene Central alumni. This is his first year at the helm. And they're on a rocky start, a young team, just like Jones Senior, a young team with a rocky start. This is two teams that are hungry to win. Yeah. What do you think about this matchup when you see these two teams?
I think it's a mirror check this week, man. I think both of them, both programs being fairly young and kind of having some hiccups and some struggles early in the year. I think that it's looking in the mirror and figuring out who's going to step out of the mirror and be something different this week. I think it's going to speak volumes of where you want your program to go as you go progressively through the years of building what you want. I think that when you have opportunity to play what you consider to be a like-minded, like personnel football program, it gives you opportunity to measure at where you're headed and not just where you're at in the very moments, man.
I agree. Well, on this Southside team, the scouting report is they're young. They're young. They're trying to learn themselves. as well as the flip side on Jones Sr. For what I picked up from covering the Southside team is their quarterback, Jaheim Moore. He is a guy they want to take over the spot for the next 4 years. He's a guy they want to lean on. Is he ready to take over the spot? I don't know. I don't know enough about this team to give that analyst, but I know that's who they want to put the ball in the hands of. So Jones has a key on this guy. And also, looking at the Jones Senior team, we talked about them last week, not scoring in 2 or 3 games. They scored last week against Pamlico. That's something to build off of. This is a game where you could get 2 or 3 touchdowns in. You never know. I'm jumping into my predictions. Hey, Coach Cornley's going to come out there in a hard cover 2, hard corners, and the dogs are coming. And I know what kind of defense he's going to bring. I know his defense like the back of my hand, and I trust it. And I think Southside's defense is going to be too much for the Jones Senior tonight.
Oh, yeah, man. I agree, man. I'm pretty sure it's a Trey Scott somewhere on the field.
There's somewhere.
It's somewhere out on the field. It's a Trey Scott, man. And I'm going to go ahead and roll into my prediction, man. I truly believe that Coach Quinley is going to get a big win. He's going to get a win that his program needs, that his community will be able to value, and that his kids will be able to build on, man. Definitely.
All right, now I want to jump into our coach's corner with Jayden Willis. This time, we put Jayden Willis into overtime this week. He got not only 1 but 2 interviews. He sits down with Coach Jay Wilson and Ryan Gieselman to talk about this upcoming week.
I'm here with Greene Central's head coach, Jay Wilson. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, Lo. How you?
Good. So the first question I got for you is, after last week's loss, how do you get over that loss coming into this big week for your team?
I told the guys down in the end zone, I said, as soon as we walk off the field, it's a total reset. We have a 4-game season. We got to get right back to work on Monday. And we got to get prepared and get ready for Kinston.
So how do you want your team to channel their emotions coming into a big game against Kinston, a big rivalry?
I want them to play with emotion. I mean, it's a rivalry game. I want them to feel it and to understand it, and I want them to push, and I want them to use that excitement and that emotion to lift them up, and go forward and have a great football game.
I'm here with head coach of the Kinston football team, Coach Gieselman. How are you doing today?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm good. First question I got for you is, after last week's tough loss, how do you get your group back centered for this big rivalry matchup this week?
Yeah, I mean, tough loss, week 1 of conference. Do think it's going to be easy to motivate with, hopefully, learning something from the loss, hate losing, but also, playing a rival in Greene Central, 15 minutes down the road. You look at the series back and forth, here and there over the last, 10, 15 years, whatnot. And like I said, there's a lot of, back and forth between our guys already. And so it's a big game, so I don't think it'll be hard to motivate. Hopefully, the guys want to bounce back from last week's loss along with playing in the rival Greene Central.
So speaking of the big rivalry, how big of it would a win be this week against the big rival like Greene Central for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, it would be something to catapult you going forward. Give you either team first win in the conference, and like I said, it'd be a big motivating factor and it's a big game. I mean, you mentioned it already, rivalry, and set the tone for the rest of the season. I do believe.
All right, Coach, that's all I got for you. Good luck this week against Greene Central. That's all for this week's special edition of the Coach's Corner with Jayden Willis. Back to you, Trey.
And now it's time for the game day game of the week. And hey, man, I'm excited. It's Greene Central versus Kinston High.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be packed out. You thought it was packed David Bryant told me last week, Tarboro Greene Central was the most money he's seen at the gate ever. Well,
we get his pockets ready.
It's about to be round 2, baby, because Kinston's coming. Kinston's coming to Snow Hill. Greene County's going to be ready. Greene Central's going to be ready. Let's jump into this matchup now. But before, let's see our most important player of the week.
My most important player of the week this week is Brennan Chambers from Kinston High School. Kinston's traveling to Greene Central for a huge swing game in that conference, with Kinston and Greene Central both coming off a bye. The Vikings are going to need their number 2 receiver to have a big week. Look, he has a catch of over 30 yards in all but 1 game this year. His big play potential is massive for this Kinston offense. Everybody knows the Tyreek Copper, the Genesis Wiggins, and all the weapons they have. But this week, Brennan Chambers has to have a big week.
Thank you, Chance. Hey, this is big time. This is a big time game right here, and it's not just about the rivalry. Greene Central's coming off 3 horrible weeks. Kinston's coming off a horrible loss. Even it's not a horrible loss, but it's every loss is bad right now.
It's detrimental, man.
Yes,
we
talked about it last week.
Yeah, it was detrimental, man.
We talked about it last week. And one thing, before we talk about this, I want to for some reason, I keep overlooking Ayden-Grifton every year, and I don't know what's wrong with my football knowledge, but I tend to do it. Great, Ayden-Grifton's a great team, man, and they prove it to me every single year. But past that, we got football, baby. We got Rams versus Vikings. Historically, Kinston has owned this matchup, winning 15 of the last 22 matchups. But the last 3 years, Greene Central has won 2 of the last 3. Thorpe, you've been in both programs. You know these kids.
On both sides.
What do you see? How excited are you for this matchup?
Man, I think just like last year, man, it's almost like an emotional roller coaster, man. You spend 2 years at one place, and you build a great rapport. You build a great JV program, and then the JV program that you build turns into the varsity program that you have to compete against. So, it's an emotional roller coaster, man, because then you fall in love with, of course, the Kinston community, the Kinston program, and now you build that same camaraderie, that same passion, that same connection with a new group of kids, man. And it's just, emotional roller coaster because, man, you look at the film and it's like, good job, DeJuan. But then it's also like, just don't do it against us. So it's an up and down thing, man. But I'll tell you, man, it brings the true passion out of the kids, man. It brings the true passion out of me, man. And as a whole, man, it's great to be a part of. And it's great to have share both sides.
And the games have not disappointed over the last years. Even in the games that Greene Central lost in the losing streak, the last 10 years, 12 years, it has not been disappointing. It has been great football. Great games. Everybody in the community looks towards this game, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be a packed house. People care. People are going to go to work Monday morning and say, hey, Greene Central booked your tail, or hey, Kinston got that dub. They're going to talk about this. There is money on the line out there. Hey, this is huge. And let's go ahead and break it down. What do you see on the Kinston side? Let's switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
What's the keys for Kinston to win this game?
The keys for Kinston to win this football game, man, is very, 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 very transparent and very straightforward, man. Be disciplined, be efficient, and finish. One of the things that we had struggles with last week was penalties, man. 16 penalties. 16 penalties, man. No great football team can circum 16 penalties and still have a way to win. You just got to be able to be disciplined, man.
I agree. My keys for Greene Central winning, the first one is heart. Hey, like I said, the last 3 weeks has been tough.
Very much.
Has been tough. I talked about Coach Quinley at Southside that's playing Jones Senior. One lesson he taught me in life is there's no lesson greater than football to get you ready for life. There's going to be times where you fail and fail and fail and fail. And there's people that are weak-minded and just go through stuff and can't get out of it. How strong-minded are you? Do you let the losses take you down, or do you respond when it's time to fight for the most arguable, most important game of the season? So the heart is the first thing for the Rams. The second thing is the run game. Hey, we have talked about the Rams' offensive line. We've talked about it. Hey, they're so good. They can block this. They're their best offensive line in here. And I'm not saying they're not, but show me the baby. Yeah. Show me the baby. If this is the best offensive line around, if Josh Setner's not going to be touched, don't let him be touched. If DeJuan Cobb has an offensive line that's really, really good, I need to see DeJuan Cobb moving the chains. And that starts at the offensive line. It starts at the offensive line and the push. The third one is turnovers. Take care of the ball. Take care of the ball, and this goes for either side. Take care of the ball. Whoever takes care of the ball wins the game. Simple as that. Whoever turns the ball over more will lose this game because it's going to be tight. It's going to come down to the end, and this is 2 teams that are hungry for a win. And, man, it's about to get good. It's about to get real good. Thorpe, I'm going to let you start with your prediction, and let's get it started. Go ahead and tell me about how the Rams are about to win.
So, usually around this time of the year, man, me and him, our friendship usually deters for a week, and for another week it will. Yeah. But straightforward and very transparent, man. I love my Greene Central family. I love my brother here. But, I bleed green and gold now, man, and Kinston will come out victorious.
Hey, I respect it. And one thing I have done over the past 2 or 3 years, and I've had a couple text messages to me lately, like, hey, Trey, are you okay? Are you still around? Because I give Kinston so much prop and credit because I like them. I like what I see.
Yeah.
I like the effort I seen during the summer. I like the competitiveness. I love seeing Tyreek Copper put into work, then it shows up on the field. I love seeing Tyler Jones excel during the summer and excelled on the field. So I have mutual respect for both teams at an extremely high level. But this is Ram football, baby. It's time. It's time to protect that house. It's time to take a lot of pride from where you're from. This is going to be packed house, and Greene Central is going to come out on top. Rams win by 7.
Hey, old Trey, man, so, with saying that, man, I would just love for one day that the Cowboys could get that same consideration. You should love us the same way, man.
Yeah.
You love Tyreek. You love what we do, man. I think the Cowboys should at some point get that same love, man.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There has been times where I have been a true Greene Central guy and I really haven't liked Kinston because I'm that passionate. That's not this right here. And now if we're talking about Duke, Carolina, and I give Duke props, okay. No, I hate Duke. I hate the Cowboys. This ain't that situation. I don't hate Kinston, man. They're not. Cowboys are not getting that situation. Hey, look, mutual respect for both sides, man. Forget the Cowboys. Go Commanders.
Cowboys all day.
Hey, look, Dieselman's that's crazy. Dieselman's a Redskin and Wilson's a Cowboy. It's all mixed up in here.
It's all twisted and knotted all up, man.
And that's what makes it so good, man. There's so many ties, man. There's so many people working at Greene County. There's so many people working in Kinston that work together, and this is what makes the sports amazing. There's so many problems in today in these lives. There's so many political problems that you don't know what's going on. Our government shut down. But at the end of the day, we got sports to believe in. We got kids to watch. We got joy in our lives. And I'm very appreciative of just sports and these kids, these programs, and guys like you that pour into these kids, man, and make these kids successful and not letting them take the wrong path, man. Shout out to you.
Yeah, man. And shout out to you, man, because this platform is built off of the work that you did.
And it's for the kids.
And it's for the kids, but it's beautiful that you invest your time, invest your visions, and you put it all in the perspective for these kids, man. And that's one of the biggest and the greatest things about this. It's never been about either one of the guys sitting in this chair, no matter who sits in this chair. It's always been about the exposure and what these kids get from this. And that's dope, man.
Amen. All right, let's move on to our game day predictions from the whole staff, brought to you by Sandpiper and Blizzard's Contract Flooring. All right, it's time. It's time. It's game day. It's game day. It's time to hit the field. It's time to pack the stands, cheer for your team, whether it's North Lenoir, South Lenoir, Jones, Greene Central, Kinston. It's time. It's time for these two guys right here to go at it. It's going to be big time. Hey, I'm Trey Scott.
I'm Vincent Thorpe.
We're going to see you next week. But before, big shout out to all of our sponsors.
Bojangles, Stallings Heating and Air, Sandpiper Seafood, Blizzard Contract Flooring, Patino Painting, Harvey Dental, Chris Humphrey for NC House, Salon 408, Hasty Mart, Superstars Athletics, East Coast Power and Lighting, Kennedy Cemetery Services, and Monument Sales, Brian West Jewelers, Sugar Hill Pizza, Captain's Corner, Chris Humphrey Allstate, 32 Below, Inflatable World.
Big shout out to the guys at Lenoir County Farm Bureau. Special thanks to Heath Harrison, John Yates, Brett Houghton, and Joseph Rouse.
And Kinston Lenoir County Parks and Recreation. Thank you to all of our sponsors.